Well, today's a review day in Ray's Arithmetic. We're going to do review in our subtraction section of lessons 24 through 27. And there's our Roman numerals showing us that it's 24 through 27. And that's what we're going to do right now. So let's get going on it. Hey, you remember this picture on page 27 of our book? We got these owls. Remember we figured out that there was some owls right here, a couple of them. Couple of them there, and then probably one sitting right there has his back turned, kind of camera shy. And then we had some owls flying, not owls, bats flying around up in the air. We had a couple of them over here. We had a couple of them right here, about 3 of them. And then we had I think there's a couple of them flying right there. So when we counted them all up, we had a total of 3 owls and we had 7 bats. Okay. And then, let's see, we used them. If you think about those owls, those 3 owls, if we had 2 of them fly away, how many owls would be left in the tree? Well, if you had 3 owls to start with, and then 2 of them flew away, how many would be left? Right, it'd be 1 owl. And then as far as the bats, you had 7 of them flying around up there. And let's say 4 of them see a nice big barn with an open door, and they fly inside the barn. 4 of them do. How many bats are left outside? Well, 4 from 7 leaves, what, 3? So 3 bats that were still flying around outside the barn. And then, let's say there was a tree, maybe where you don't see it, behind the pine tree someplace, a tree with some leaves on it. And there was a twig, one of the twigs on the tree had 9 leaves, and 3 of them falls off. How many leaves would be left? Well, 9 leaves to start with, and 3 of them fall off. So 3 from 9 leaves 6 leaves still on the twig. All right. Then we go to lesson 25. These were some subtraction problems that all revolve around the number 1. So let's do a few of those. For example, we had 1 from 1 leaves what? Leaves 0. 1 from 1 leaves 0. That's kind of easy. How about 2 from 3? 2 from 3 means we start with 3 and we take away 2. That leaves 1. How about 5 from 6? If we start out with 6 and we take away 5, how many are left? We've got 1 left. Very good. Okay. How about 1 from 7? We start out with 7 and we take away 1. That leaves 6. How about 9 from 10? 9 from 10 means we start with 10, and we take away 9. That leaves how many? 1. Okay, hey, let's do a couple of word problems. Mary, she had 3 roses, and she gave 2 of them to Henry. How many did she have left? Well, if she had 3 roses to start with, and she gives 2 of them to Henry, how many roses does she have left? Well, 2 from 3 leaves 1 rose. All right, let's say, hey, you're in this one. You have 5 nuts and you give away 4 of them. How many do you have left? So you have 5 nuts to start with. You give away 4. How many do you have left? I'd say you have 1. And if you said that, you'd be right too. 1 nut. Okay, how about Jane and some money? She's got 9 cents and she spends 8 cents. How many does she have left? So Jane's got 9 cents. She spends 8 cents. How many does she have left? 1. Let's try one where we've got Ella, who's got some plums. In fact, she has 10 plums, and she gives 1 to her sister. How many plums does she have left? So Ella has 10 plums to start with. She gives 1 to her sister, and that leaves her with 9 plums. Okay. Well, from lesson 26, that's where we were working with the number 2, and let's do some problems with that. So 2, take away 2 would be how many? That's a 0. Nothing. How about 2 from 5? We found out that leaves 3. 2 from 5. So if you start with 5, we take away 2, that leaves how many? Leaves us with 3. How about 2 from 6? 2 from 6 means we start with 6, take away 2, and that leaves us with 4. Alrighty, let's say 5 from 7. 5 from 7. How many is that? We start with 7, take away 5, that leaves us with 2. Or 2 from 11. 2 from 11 would be 11. We take away 2, that leaves 9. All right. Let's look at let's try lesson 26. Oh wait, let's do some word problems. Yeah, getting ahead of myself here. Let's do some word problems from this. So let's say, so here's our first word problem. Frank had 3 apples and he gave 1 to his brother. How many does he have left? Well, he's got 3 apples. He gives 1 to his brother. So that leaves him with 2 apples. All right, how about, there were 5 birds in a tree, 2 of them fly away. We just did something like that with bats. 5 birds and 2 fly away, so that means we're taking away 2 from 5, right? 2 from 5 leaves 3. Hey, let's catch up with Dan the mouse catcher. Daniel caught 6 mice, but 2 of them got away. How many were left? So Daniel had 6 mice. He caught 6 mice, but then 2 of them got away. They escaped. How many are left? Dan still has 2 from 6 leaves 4 mice. Let's see. How about Margaret? Margaret is in the baking business. She has 10 cakes and gives 8 of them to her sister. How many does she have left? So Margaret had 10 cakes, and then she gives 8 of them to her sister. All right, she still has how many left? 8 from 10 leaves 2. All right. Let's go on to lesson 28 and do a little bit of review of that. That one was involving the number 3. So let's do some problems that use the word or use the number 3. 3 from 3 leaves how many? 3 from 3 leaves 0. How about 1 from 4? How many is 1 from 4? Well, we start with 4. We take away 1. Leaves us with how many? With 3. How about 3 from 6? 3 from 6 means we start with 6. We take away 3. That leaves us with how many? That leaves us with 3. Even Steven. How about 3 from 8 leaves 5? We start with 8. Take away 3. And that leaves us with how many? With 5. And I don't know, how about 6 from 9? If we start with 9, we take away 6, leaves us with 3. And maybe let's go a little higher. How about 9 from 12? How many is 9 from 12? Well, we start with 12, we take away 9. That leaves us with 3. Okay, well, let's do a few word problems with 3. Oops. Not ready to finish yet. All right, the first word problem is going to be Mary. Remember the orange lover who has 4 oranges and she eats 3 of them? How many does she have left? Well, Mary starts with 4 oranges. She eats 3 of them, and she saves how many for later? 3 from 4 leaves 1. All right. Let's catch up with these 6 people in the carriage. 6 people are in a carriage and 3 of them get out. How many will remain? Well, we got 6 in there to start with, and then at one point, carriage stops, 3 of them get off. And how many are still on the carriage? 3 from 6 leaves 3. They're going till the next stop. Let's see, how about Cora? Cora had 7 pins. She loses 4 of them. How many pins does she have left? Cora with her 7 pins, and she loses 4 of them. How many does she have left? 3. But she still better go look for those pins before somebody pokes themselves. Hey, let's see. This hen, you remember our hen? Poor hen. She had 9 chickens to start with, which was all good, but then this hawk comes along and swoops down, carries off 6 of them. How many were left? Well, 9 take away 6 means she has 3 chickens left. And I bet that hawk must have been hungry to carry off 6 of them. Well, let's maybe do one more problem. Let's see, Eliza, She had 12 cents and she spent 3 cents. How many does she have left? Well, she started with 12 cents and she spent 3 cents. So how many cents does she have left? 12 take away 3, or 3 from 12 are 9 cents. Okay, well that'll be it for our review of these lessons. We're going to go on to lesson number 28 next time when we get together. So meanwhile, you can always visit our website, razormath.com. You can view some more of our videos. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and check out what we have at our website. Meanwhile, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.